When the 16-year-old girl came back, she saw what had done and screamed at her over and over, asking why. Within minutes, cops and the other fire department had shown up. They wrapped the girl up in a blanket, led her away. As they laid sheets over the dead bodies of her parents, the dream jumped again. And I am now in the present time again. Now I am standing in front of the house with two of my friends from earlier in the dream, and we are with a group of ghost hunters. The lead guys from the ghost hunters are talking about the history of the house and how even every person who had lived in this house had died with fire. My friends go inside and I follow them. I notice the house has been renovated but not by much. I watched the explosion more around the house. There was a woman in the kitchen looking around, two men in the bathroom, one in the hallway. All of a sudden, in the house, I am standing next to the front yard. I am shocked that she is outside of the house and standing next to me. I look back at the house. I go more towards the house, then I stop dead in my tracks. I turn to see that everything is gone. The next thing I knew, I am seeing this stuff. I am watching as she moves about the house. I try to scream to warn everyone to get out, but nothing is coming out of my mouth. No one can hear me. I beg to her, stop, but she does not listen. I watch in horror at snakes up out of the drain, moving up the side of the tub towards one of the hunter who is examining part of a broken mirror. The wire wrapped around his neck and he starts choking, trying to get it off him. The other hunter with him turns around, seeing his partner have the wire around his neck, choking and bleeding everywhere. He moves to go and closer when the same wire still wrapped around the one dude's neck shot down and other man's throat and coming out of the other side of his body. I am screaming and begging to stop and trying to get everyone in the house out. My friend hears the cries of the pain from the two men in the bathroom and goes to see what happened. When they saw what was going on, they fled the house, but one of the other hunter was right behind them, and the white grabbed his leg and wrapped down his body like a snake, making blood go everywhere. She turned aside to the woman in the kitchen. It was the moment I realized woman was looking directly at him. I was so shocked to see this woman was a medium, but little. I then did something I was not expecting. She tried to physically attack her. The woman dug for a knife that was on the counter and held towards her like it was meant to hurt her. I was screaming for this woman to run, that Lethal was already dead and that a knife would not hurt her. The woman seems to have heard me because what she did next will haunt me for the rest of my life. The woman then took the knife and slit her own wrist, carving see wounds, and then take the blood-soaked knife and carve into the hardwood floor. She kept stabbing herself and drawing a pattern. Lethal tried everything to get to his woman. She could not across the pattern, not even the wire that killed three other people. I looked around my room, my hair was totally garbled and my heart still racing and I am soaked in sweat from fear, but the pain in my leg from trying to get up shot so bad that I ended up just passing out. This dream was happened this time. I was in more control, but it was very weird. I was with my grandparents. I never met them in real life. When they died before I was born, I was walking beside my grandfather and I kept thinking about what had happened to that woman and why she kept drawing the patterns that she did. So I asked my grandfather I knew anything about these patterns. I then hear a friend shut up from somewhere in my dreams, but I see no one. I keep looking around, but I struggle it off thinking it was nothing. I asked again if he knew anything about ruins she had carved, and again I hear shut up. I realized that the voice I heard was not in my dreams, that it was someone from outside my dreams in real life. I bolted awake again. I scan my room and find this tall black shape of what looks like a person with a cowboy hat with no other features, just a dark shadow standing in my closet. I am so terrified. I can't move. I just stare at him. He only says one thing to me: stop looking, stop asking questions. Then he just fades away. When he was finally gone, light into my bedroom, and I realized it was none. What seemed like minutes in my dreams was actually hours. This was very first time everything was clear. This was the beginning of 10 years from that hunters, and I feel like I am haunted.